everybody, Invisiblekatana here, and earlier today I got the chance to check out the latest Resident Evil 7 videos, and I liked them. They were super tiny, of course. That was the only crappy thing about them. They're like the tiniest, itty-bittiest little videos, but we got some cool stuff in them. We got to see how they're doing saves, which seems to be tape recorders, which I thought was interesting. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. So tape recorders are how you save the game. We got to see a tiny bit of combat, which looked really funny to me because he had like that little knife, but the way he swung, it didn't seem like he had to swing all the way. It seemed like he just went like, and the whole box just exploded. So I thought that was kind of funny, but I was like, okay. So just like, Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, the knives can just destroy the boxes just like normal. But I think they're bringing back, based on what I saw at least, I could be wrong, this could just be, different items that make logical sense in real life can be used on certain objects. But it seemed like this foldable knife may or may not be like the special item that they have in like the first 3 Resident Evil games, which I would love it. That would be really awesome if they did that. I have to go back through them now because I didn't even think to check that during the part where they're like getting the shotgun and stuff. But that would be really cool because it seemed, like he actually unfolded the knife and stuff and like broke the box open. And technically the knife, even when they started it with 4, once they did it with 4, it was like, alright, the knife isn't even a part of your inventory anymore. So it could still be that same element where it's like, alright, you just take the knife out and that's all there really is to it. But I thought that was cool. It was like, alright, we saw them use the knife on the boxes, and then we saw them use it on like the fuse box, and they cut the tape open. I was like, alright, that's pretty cool. And it's like, you have your weapon use, and then you have the use, I guess. So, I don't know if they're going to be doing it where it's like this special inventory item. It was probably just a normal item like everything else, but I thought that was pretty cool. Like I said, we got to see the save feature, so that was, tiny little thing. And then we get to see that they're bringing back boxes, which I thought, honestly, that made me super happy. I would have lost my mind if they just flat out made them like the original boxes. I would have personally loved that for sure. But I like that they're bringing boxes back. That's just a big element to take it back to old school Resident Evil style. And I knew that's what they were doing when I saw that first scene. Well, because I saw, like, I didn't see the actual Capcom videos. I saw, like, someone just put them all together. And so the first one I saw was the save video. And so as soon as I saw the save video, I saw that box in the background, and I'm like, those are boxes for items. And then the last video I saw was them getting the shotgun, and they opened up the box, and I was like, yes, they're bringing back boxes. So they're going to have it where this is like, and it seems like this is another element that really makes me happy. If they're bringing back boxes, they have to be bringing back the old school element of backtracking through the world. So we aren't going through, like Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, where it's like, okay, Leon, in 4, he starts at the house at the beginning. Like, he gets out of the car, he goes to that house, and then he goes through like this whole island, or he goes through this whole village and stuff. And he goes through all these other things. Then he gets to an island, and all this other stuff happens. And then 5 and 6 kind of the same thing. Like, start in one place and you go. In 4, you technically do backtrack at one portion, but it's kind of like, alright, you go through like a quick segment and then you're not backtracking anymore. This seems like old school mansion backtracking. Like, you go through this area and you have to go here, you have to go there, and all of it is in this compound of this family. And that's pretty awesome to me. I like that. I love that, honestly. They're bringing back the boxes, which means that, you put a box like way out, there's a box or in a room way over there, and then you're 3 floors up, and on the other side of the, I guess, mansion, it seems like they're eventually going to have a mansion, and then you get your items back from a different box. So I love that. They're bringing back boxes, which is phenomenal. They had it during the save section. They're keeping the old school thing as well, where it's like, 1F and stuff like that. So the house has multiple floors. It's going to have basement 1F for floor 1, 2F and stuff like that, first floor, second floor. So I thought that was great. I was like, alright, the fact that they have different floors means that it's going to be a lot of old school backtracking as well. Excuse me. But it had me excited. I was like, this is pretty awesome. You know, little stuff, so this video isn't going to be super long. The clips are so tiny. But there was some good stuff there. I like what they did showing off the shotgun. Of course, just like everybody else, I'm just waiting to see the combat in action. I know it's going to be Resident Evil combat. I'm just excited to see it. Mostly, I don't know what you guys are expecting, and I want to know what you are. But for me, the number one thing I want to see is not just combat. I want to see combat against a new type of enemy. I don't want to see the family anymore. I want to see what I believe are going to be spiders, because when the Lantern demo came out, you go in the room with all the broken TVs and stuff, and I recently played the PSVR version of that demo at the tour event. I was like, alright, I already saw when I first saw that video, I was like, there are going to be spiders in the game, and I was looking at these sacks, or whatever you want to call them, when I was playing the demo, and I'm like, man, there are going to be spiders in this game again. Another old school thing. We haven't had spiders since, oh man, I think Resident Evil 3? I think Resident Evil 3 is the last time we had spiders in a Resident Evil game. Or no, I'm sorry, Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0 was the last one. Because they had spiders in that. If you want to count the remake, I guess, Resident Evil... well, no. I don't think there are spiders in the Resident Evil remake. I don't think Resident Evil 1 had spiders. That doesn't sound right. They had to have had spiders in the first game, but... I don't know, no. I'm not 100% sure. They may have added spiders in Resident Evil 2. I really can't remember all of a sudden. I can't remember if the remake has spiders or not. I don't... It's got sharks. It should have spiders. If they can go zombie shark, they can go spider. So I can't really remember if they have spiders in the remake or not. But it's either 0 or the remake were like the last games where we had the spiders in them. And I think it was 0. I don't think the remake has spiders in it. But we haven't had spiders in forever. So we're getting spiders back, which is phenomenal. We're getting boxes back, which is... those are just like two... As far as I'm concerned, those are two big staples. The next thing I need to see, if they just throw in a blue herb, I'm going to lose my mind. Because we haven't had blue herbs since the same two games, Resident Evil 0 and the remake. Because spiders were the only reason we had that. Because spiders would basically spit the acid on you and you'd be poisoned. So we don't have that. We haven't had that in a super long time. It's just green, red, and yellow now. And that's it. So if they bring back blue spider, or the blue herbs, I'm going to lose my mind. Because they're going, you know, like they said they're going back to some of the old school stuff. And they're really showing it in this. We're seemingly, at least, in just this one mansion location. We have boxes back, which is phenomenal. We may or may not have key items. Like I said, that could have just been the fact that it's a knife. They're finally doing some of the logical stuff. I'm sure they'll do some of the other normal video game things where it's like, oh, I can't just jump over this or that. But certain elements, they're utilizing it where it's like, okay, this is your knife that you just have. You can use it for combat, but you can also use it to actually get to places where it makes a lot of sense. Cut some tape. Simple stuff. So those little things I actually like. Save feature, you know, they're kind of sticking to the old, you know, what they started with 4, where it's like you no longer need ink ribbons. I wouldn't hate it. I would love it if they brought that back, where it's like you have limited save files as well. I would love that too. I didn't hate it, you know, where it's like, oh, you can save now and stuff. And they kind of even took that out, where it's like, I think they took that out with 5. It was just like, you just flat out have checkpoints. You don't even save anymore. You just checkpoint, and you save after each level, so you can't quit. But if you die, you got checkpoints, so it doesn't matter. And, you know, it was like, alright, well, that kind of sucks. So, you know, I would like to see them go back to that element. And it seems like they're at least going halfway back. If they go back to at least 4, I'm fine with that. Because with 5 and 6, it was just like, alright, you finished this, you're done. And it seemed like with 4, they knew the levels were so big, you'd have to save in between. But with 5 and 6, it was kind of just like, alright, you know, they're short enough now, you can just beat it and you're done. And if you die, you just have a checkpoint, so it doesn't matter anymore. And there are no save points in between. You just get checkpoints, and that's it. It's not like you get a checkpoint here, and there's a long stretch between checkpoints, so you can have a save point if you want to, stuff like that. So If they go back to that, I would love it. I would love it even more if they flat out went back to full on ink ribbons, or it would have to be tapes, I would assume, considering the tape recorder thing, which makes sense for the game because they're doing the tape stuff and all that. So you have to have like a blank cassette or something, which super old school, but I would actually like that a lot. And you just have to get like a cassette so you can actually save your game. But I like what little we got to see from these, small little clips. Next big thing I'm waiting for, I think like everybody, I just want to see the weapons in action, and I don't want to see them used against the family because technically we saw that in the last big trailer where the father was being shot at. I want to see some zombies. I want to see some dogs. I want to see some spiders. I really hope they bring back spiders. I would, hunters, whatever. It seems like we might be in a swamp area at some point. Hunters make a lot of sense to bring back. Maybe a different version of the hunters, because this family may or may not be using the T-virus. That's the big theory going around based on what they can do. So maybe like the hunters, but they look different because it's done with this family's version of the virus. Something like that would freaking lose my mind. Some really old school stuff we haven't seen in decades. Or a decade, I can't say like decades, but a decade. um, I would really love that. I would love to see them go back to some of those real old school elements. Would love to know what other elements, whether it's old items or old enemies, you guys would like to see. I'm sure the liquor is going to make an appearance. As far as what people want to see, I don't think the liquor will be in the game though, because those are like literally just inside out humans. Don't think we'll get that, but I'm sure that's what everyone wants to see because everybody loves the Lakers because they are freaking sweet. I would love to see Nemesis, but he's got his game. Until they make that freaking remake, I just gotta go with like the Chronicles game so I can see a better version of them. But we'll love to know what you guys thought about the little snippets of footage. Definitely want to know, like I said, what old items or old enemies or old elements in general, like the boxes, you guys want to see come back. And definitely I want to know what you guys want to see next, whether it's combat, whether it's enemies, both together, because that's what I think everyone really wants. But definitely want to know what you guys thought about what we saw and what you guys want to see next. So please comment below, let me know. And of course, thanks for watching.